As Forrest would say, how's it going? Welcome to I guess, week 3 and week 4 recap of the DNFL. Forrest, if you're watching this, if you could leave any comment on how my Forrest impression is doing, I would appreciate that. Sorry I took a week off. I ran the 4 for Fitness last weekend and thought I did all right. But yeah, I woke up really early for that, got home, was really tired, didn't have the energy to do one of these. So here we are for this week. How's the weather been? So far this week, I would say the weather has been pretty cloudy. As I'm looking outside right now, the sun is out. So we will see what things look like going forward with the weather. Yeah. Speaking of the weather, we are in prime fall season now. We're in October. They're bringing out the pumpkin spice. And I want to know, this is a favorite time of mine for one reason. And I would say that mainly has to do with it is officially spooky season. And I actually watched this movie last night, Night of the Hunter. With Robert Meacham. He plays Preacher Pal. Honestly, Preacher Pal, top 5 movie villain, up there with Heath Ledger's Joker and Javier Bardem's character in No Country for Old Men. It's a good watch. It's a 1950s black and white movie about yeah, just a preacher that finds out, well, fake preacher that finds out about these kids that have money hidden in a doll, and it's basically a game of cat and mouse the whole time, told from the kid's perspective of him trying to get the money. But yeah, that was one thing that was on my list. I may watch Scooby Doo on Zombie Island, maybe, and Prisoners is another one that I have in mind. But I'm wondering from your perspective, what I'm wondering this week, could you have any spooky movie recommendations for me? Something with good fall vibes that I can watch. I would appreciate that. But back to the reason you all are here, the DNFL, as they say. The DNFL. What's been going on this last week? Let me go ahead and go to the scores from last week. The scores from last week. We have IU for college football playoff taking an L. I'm wondering if IU is actually going to do well in the college football playoff. If they keep winning, they could get in. That'd be cool. But yeah, taking the L here though. But go Hoosiers. Maybe that'll be the college football team I pick. I'm currently trying to weigh what college team do I want to follow for football. Do I want to follow a team? Maybe we could have a signing day thing where I pick hats and pick a team. That'd be fun. But yeah, moving down the list, we have squirrel hunting taking the W. Pup list. Honestly, I want pup list to do well. I am a pup fan, I guess. I like the pups. I want them to do well. Darn dog MVP getting the first dub. Darn dog, dime dog, darn dog. Who would have thought Sam Darnold, I don't know, he might be one of the early people in conversation for MVP. Some people might know this, but I collect sports cards, and I actually was debating maybe buying a Sam Darnold card at the start of the season. I wasn't a big JJ McCarthy fan, but yeah, honestly, I think the auction may have ended for about $100, and it was a super rare card. And I'm wondering honestly what it's doing now with the way Darnold has played at the start of the year. Homies Hoodlums, Homie Z. That'd be a cool name for Homie. Homie Z. I'm gonna start calling him that. Taking the win over Caleb's team. Yeah. I would say again, I liked Jaden's team. I liked Caleb's team. I did support Doug Baby, but Doug Baby's been falling lately, so we'll see how Doug Baby ends up doing. I will say this, it's cool that even with Blake spending as much money as he did on Brees Hall, Him continuing to win and be at 3-1 is cool. Yeah, again, I really want Pupless to do well. Matt Kennedy, my the favorite Kennedy of mine. Yeah, I want him to do well. If we go to week 5, if we RB2X, I think that's Dave. Waiku had a good game. Uh, Honestly, I just don't understand how. I'll say this: going into the draft when Bijan was picked, NFL draft, and even this draft, I thought he was a lot better. Like, I don't know. I watched the tape. I feel like Bijan Robinson should be a lot better, but to Blake's point, and he's made this point, there's this weird thing with Atlanta Falcons players where you look at their college production and you look at what they've done so far in the league, and you're just like, why aren't you guys producing on the field? You could say that with Kyle Pitts, you could say that with Drake London, you could say that with Bijan Robinson. But if we go, oh, Mike Evans, good job, homies hoodlums. Honestly, Drake London, great pick, Blake. You were on the London train, the London Bell, as they say. 33 points, having a great game. Yeah, he's one guy where I'm curious to see how he ends up doing the rest of the year. But it is interesting to see that. Yeah, Drake London, 33 points. One other thing that has kind of come to mind for me so far, if I go into a different tab, I just want to see this to see if there is anything that comes to mind for you guys. So if I go in here and look at this is the transaction counter, so it's just showing what people have done so far this year. If we see, I don't know if there's any real correlation that can be seen from this, but we see that like the people that have had the most activity, Homies Hoodlums has the most acquisitions, and he has a 3-1 record. If we look at, you would look at Pupless too, 8 drops. I would say like I really like Caleb's team, but yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm looking at this. What do you guys think of this? Like I'm just looking at this and just seeing like, is there any like correlation between the type of players that people are picking up? Not the type of players, more of I would say the activity of the players that people are picking up. Brian had also sent this to me, and I'm not going to be able to share this, but I kind of just want to maybe talk through it for a little bit. But this is actually the budget so far of what people have spent. I think this may be current, maybe as of the end of week 3. But if we look at Pup List and don't call me Nate. I think Ryan changed his name to IU for college football playoff though. Um, they still have $100 left to spend, and then the teams that have spent the most money, we have RB2X, DMI, and Ryan's dog eats socks um, at 85, and RB2X DMI 60 left. Um, Homies Hoodlums at 78. So you can see, like, I don't know, there are some people that have spent more money, some people that haven't, just to see if there's any sort of correlation behind the activity of what people have done on the waivers. Yeah, I'm just curious if there's anything to be said about that at all. One of the topics of conversation that I want to get in today, if we go, let's go to the league rosters and kind of just scroll down and see if we can pull this guy up. So if we look at where is it? Where is it? It is, if I can find it. Where is it? Sorry, this will help once I can find it. Oh, Jameer Gibbs. Feed Gibbs. I don't know if Abby Sheehan watches this, but I'm wondering if Feed Gibbs will be a new meme. That'd be cool. But yeah, honestly, I just like Jameer Gibbs a lot more than David Montgomery. It was interesting at the start of the year. It was the same thing last year where Jameer Gibbs went for a lot, and rightfully so. He was a high draft pick, and he had a good end to last season. But even before, when he was a rookie, it was the same thing. And David Montgomery was really cheap, and David Montgomery had a good year last year. The same thing happened this year, where I think David Montgomery went for really cheap. Um, but yeah, the player I want to talk about here we go. Jaden Daniels. So if I go down here to just what was traded, this would have been between Ryan and Blake. So Ryan would have traded Blake, Jaden Daniels, and Zach Moss for Jerome Ford and Stephon Diggs. I think of Jaden Daniels, and this brings me back to circa 2012 with Andrew Luck and RG3's draft class. Russell Wilson was that year too. I think Ryan Tannehill was that year too. But RG3, rookie of the year. But in that same year, it's similar to Jaden Daniels, where I feel like RG3 may have been going in around like 8 to 12 ish, and Jaden Daniels is more at the end of the draft. But the point being here is I think there are some similarities with Jaden Daniels and RG3 with the fact that they're running quarterbacks, and running quarterbacks are very important for you to do well in fantasy. I remember that year, I think I was playing someone in the championship, and he had a couple players where it was like, okay, if you have guys like that on your team, like you have a good shot of going far in the playoffs. But I don't know, like having RG3 on that team, it's just I feel like there are ceilings with some quarterbacks where I'm like, okay, you could throw a lot and get like 20 or 25 points. The difference with a player like Jaden Daniels and even Josh Allen that was on Ryan's team, those are the type of players that could honestly win you a playoff game by themselves and score like 40 to 50 points. It's possible just because of the fact that they're running and scoring touchdowns and getting rushing yards. But yeah, I'm wondering, do you guys think that, as Forrest says, was this good value for Ryan? Could Ryan have held out for more, or did Blake fleece him? I don't know, but I may watch if I could watch a Commanders game. That'd be cool. I may see how Jaden Daniels is doing, but honestly, a really big surprise this year, and we'll see if this is a player with Blake's 3-1 record that could win him a league. That'd be cool to see. But yeah, the only other thing I kind of want to talk about and visit, actually, no, let's go back to trades. I want to talk about trades. So there was some topic of conversation, I think, in the chat this week. Thanks for talking in the chat, by the way. It keeps things much more active. But can you go outside the bounds of trading players in fantasy? Um, can you trade other things? Like, say I want a player from Squirrel Hunting Joel. I, is that Jaden? I think no, it's not Jaden. Let's just say I want a player from Jaden, and Jaden's a little head on value. I'm a little behind, but I'm like, Jaden, I really want this player. We're close. What if I just buy you Chipotle and we'll get the trade done? Is that all right? I don't know. If I want to do a trade with um, Darn Dog, um, or Demi, could I just trade them a share of my Nvidia stock for one of their bench players? Would that be all right? I don't know. It's an interesting thing where I wonder, do people do this in our league? Do people do this in other leagues where they're trading other monetary assets or promising meals or other things or favors in exchange for players? Favors for players. How about let's coin it as that? Favors for players. I came up with that myself. But yeah, just something I'm wondering. What do you guys think? Is there anything that should be outside the line of trading for fantasy football, or is everything fair game? Leave your comments below. That would be great. But yeah, let me go back to just the home screen just to see, hey, are our end of year projections correct? We have Doug Baby starting off at 1 going down to 7. Again, let's give a bow wow for the pup list. I want them to do well. Caleb's team pretty steady. I liked Caleb's team most of the year. Blake improving a lot. I wonder if honestly, so you see the 5 to 1 jump. I wonder if that has to do a lot with the Jaden Daniels trade. Just something that comes to mind. Um, IU surging in college football and surging in our league. Homies Hoodlums, Jaden. I liked Jaden's team at the start of the year. But yeah, I'm just wondering, based on this, do you guys think this is accurate? Is this how the league's going to finish? Or is there a sleeper team that's going to come along the way in order to get fantasy glory? Just curious. Yeah, leave a comment below. All right, that is going to be everything that is on my mind for today. Thanks for tuning in. Honestly, I do these out of a labor of love for you guys. Hopefully, it keeps the chat active. Hopefully, people are interested. But yeah, if you think, hey, this would be fun if you talked about this, send me a text. Really, this is all to encourage just discourse between our chat and honestly to keep you guys interested besides just talking throughout the week. And honestly, just keeping conversation and banner going. It's really fun. But yeah, if you have any thoughts, changes, hey, try this, leave a comment below, or you could just send me a text. That would be great. I hope you guys win all your games this week, but we will have losers. Thanks again for tuning in. I will see you guys next